In this video, we are going to be learning about hammer-ons and pull-offs on guitar tablature. If you do not know what guitar tablature is, please click this link right here and learn about it. If you do know what guitar tablature is, awesome. What you're going to be doing today is practicing writing guitar tablature for hammer-ons and pull-offs on paper. If you do not own a guitar tab sheet or have any blanks, you can go to my website and download them under my free downloads page for guitar tablature for this video. So let's go ahead and get started with hammer-ons. So what we're going to do is start off with the open hammer-on. So notice I have hammer-on here, so I'm not going to label open hammer-on. The reason being is I just want you to know that there's separate ones. One's open, one's closed, but that's what I call them. Not everybody goes by those terms. Sometimes they're just called hammer-ons, but the reason why I call it open is because you're going to start with an open string, so a 0. Notice what string I'm on the 3rd string, so 6, 5, 4, 3 string right there. And what I'm going to do is we're going to be hammering on to the 7th fret. Okay, so notice I have my 0, I have my 7, and what we're going to do is we're going to put this curved line, and that's going to tell you this is a hammer-on. Okay, that's one way on tablature how you're going to see this. 0 to 7, curved line, hammer on right there. That's one way. Another way you might see it on guitar tablature, especially if you see it online instead of somebody writing it out, is like this: 0, H7. Now that's the same thing. This is from 0 or open string, hammer to the 7th fret of the same string. Now it just depends. Like I said, if I were to do it, I'd do it this way because I know this curved line means hammer on. If you were to see it online, like I said, you might see 0, H7. That's both the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and give you an example on that, how that would look on a guitar. One more time. Now we're going to do a closed hammer on. Remember, it's the same thing, but now what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a closed position, meaning we're going to go ahead and have the 7th fret being pushed down instead of a 0 on the 3rd string. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to hammer onto the 8th fret. Okay, so now what we're going to do once again is draw a curved line. You might see it this way with an H on top, or especially once again if you see it on a guitar tab online, you might see it 7, H, 8, just like that. Once again, these two are the same things. Okay, here is your example. One more time. Now for pull-off, it's the same idea, but remember, it's instead of hammering onto a fret, now you're going to be pulling off a string or a fret as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start off for a pull-off. We're going to start off on the 7th fret, and we're going to pull off to the 0 fret, which is open. So what we're going to do, once again, now notice a pull-off uses a curved line as well, and now instead of an H, you're going to just put a P. Once again, you can see this written like this: 7, pull off to 0. It's the exact same thing. It just depends on the person and how they're going to be writing it. Here is your example. One more time. Now for a closed pull off, same idea. It's just one thing I'm calling it closed pull off. It's not necessarily going to be the name you always hear, but I like to separate them. So a closed pull off would be 7, no, I'm sorry, let's put 8 to 7, and you're going to be pulling off from fret 8 to fret 7 like that. Now I know I'm kind of writing this large and I'm taking up all this other space on these other string lines, but it's okay because I'm trying to get this on the video. Okay, so you might want to write it a little smaller if you have other frets going on, or if you're trying to tab out a guitar riff or whatever, you're going to write it a lot smaller so you can fit everything onto the page. Now for another example of how this might look, it might be 8, guess what, to P to 7. So 8th fret, pull off to 7th fret on the 3rd string. And here is your example of that. One more time. And that's it for this video. I know I kept it very basic, but I meant to on purpose. I'm just giving you the generalization of how they work. I'm not going to go into very complex ideas about them or anything like that. If you want to learn more about them, you can take Skype lessons with me, or guitar lessons in other words, through Skype, and we can set that up. I'll leave a link below for the link to my website where you can contact me at. You can always leave comments below. You can like this video and share it with your friends. I'm going to leave a link right here for the exercises for hammer-ons and pull-offs if you haven't watched that video. And I'm also going to leave a link right here for the background track that I chose for this video as well. Now for the background track, if you're going to do that, it's just another way to practice your exercises for hammer-ons and pull-offs. I made it specifically for that reason, so go ahead and click those links and check it out. Thanks a lot.